done it. It's been coming, this. No, it has. I know there's some naysayers will be out here. Danny Rohl's got a 66% loss record. This has been coming. Watford, Plymouth, we deserve more from them games. Started creating chances, just couldn't get it over the line. Today, we've done it. And the Lord of the X has come to bite Rotherham. I've seen it described as a massive local derby. I never really seen it that way, me. I ain't honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I look for them. In the same way that Wednesday, then I'm like, Pigs, Barnsley, Donny, Rotherham, Chesney, Huddersfield. I've always just looked for Yorkshire club results. From being a kid, you think green, and you did, didn't you? No massive rivalry from me, but a big game in terms of it being bottom of the table. And a big game where Danny Rohl made some changes, including a change of system. 4 changes for Wednesday this afternoon. Akinfenmayo, Paul Valentin, John Buckley and Lee Gregory were out of the side to be replaced by Deshaun Bernard, Callum Patterson, Reece James and up top Michael Smith. It meant a bit of a reshuffle as Wednesday went to a 4-2-3-1 come 3-4-3. Bernard joined Dominic Iorfa and Momo Diaby at the back. Callum Patterson and Reece James came into the wing-back slots. And Michael Smith was flanked up front by Josh Windass and Tony Masaba. So, gone to a back 3. Bernard back in. I like Bernard, he's impressed. Out of all the new signings, I think Bernard's the one that I'm most impressed with and the one that I'd like us to keep hold of and develop and see what he can do. But a change of system, Reece James and Callum Patterson back in the wing-back spots, give us a bit of energy out there, and obviously in James's case a bit of natural balance that we sometimes lack. And Michael Smith up front against his old club. There was one other surprising inclusion in matchday squad today, Marvin Johnson. Now anyone who saw me in Bargo video in the week will know that because we had not paid this tax bill, we couldn't register any players, and that would include Marv. Now this has led to a rumour going round, the bill's been paid, it must have been paid or we couldn't assign Marv up. But there was also another rumour going round that Marv were actually registered around about the time of the Huddersfield game by Neil Thompson. I don't know which one's least unlikely. Would a standing manager register a player before the new manager come in? I mean, that could cause some bollocks, couldn't it? On the other hand, do I believe that Mr Chancery's gone out and instantly played his tax bill? It could be equally as unlikely. I don't know what it is. I hope he has paid the tax bill because I think things are a lot more positive on the pitch for Wednesday at the minute, a lot more positive on the training ground and around the club generally. If we can stop the nonsense off it, I think we can really all get together and get behind lads and try and get us out of this relegation mire. Anyway, let's get on to the game. I've been looking for my notebook because I watch game and then when I sit down, while it's still fresh, I always write myself some notes. I should write a script because some cobblers have come out with, but I always write some notes. Couldn't find my book, it's here. All my little notes from old games, you see. I know, a bit sad, innit? But anyway, couldn't find my book anyway. I've been searching for about an hour and a half. Where's book with notes in? Found it. It's underneath bloody laptop, which I've got propped up on about 10 books to stop it overheating. Anyway, first half. Trying to focus my face with this thing, because somebody said the other day that my books are in focus, but my face is blurred. Oh, look at that. That's how our lass prefers me. Let's see if we can get that right. Is that better? Bleeding, I think I need an eye test. That's not right, is it? That fucking hell I'll have to do. Campton Caveman here on the technology. The first half, the first 10 minutes, I've got to say, awful, scrappy affair. 2 teams, bottom of the table, balls in air all the time. It's getting hooked up, other people's shoulder, it's going out for a throw. It's scrappy. It's hooked up there all the time. It's 10 minutes of head tennis, you know. But for that, I'll still say this. Wednesday were in there and winning headers. In there, winning headers, winning tackles, getting a foot in. And it's something we saw at Watford game, it's something we saw at Plymouth game.
Now, albeit in those games, we were closing down from the front a lot more, really pressing them high up pitch. We didn't particularly do that in the first 10 minutes, but then you can't press ball, can you, when it's up there, level with pigeons on North Stand roof. So, very scrappy opening. But on 10 minutes, Wednesday got that lead. Now it come with Big Diaby stepping into a through ball and intercepting that. And that were well done. He wants to bet his face, because I've got to be honest with you, he does make me clench my sphincter a little bit when he's in possession of the ball. But he's got stuck in there, one block, played ball forward. Bannon threaded Masaba away. He's had a shot on near stick. Keeper's bobbled it out to him. Johansson, I think he'll think he could have done better with that, to be honest with you. He's squared it into Smith and he's angled it in near post on a tight angle. It was the sort of bobbling about opportunity that you would probably expect us to miss when confidence is down. But he puts it in, lifts Wednesday, that lifts them, because they've been getting stuck in. I won't say playing brilliantly, but getting stuck in and doing ugly side at game really, really well. So a little bit of a bonus there to get a goal, something to back up the work that they put in, and give them a platform to build on. And they did. They did build. I mean, it wasn't brilliant football. There were still really long, scrappy parts of the game. But Wednesday, when they did get the ball, were trying to zip it about quickly. Certainly in midfield, there were a few areas in moments at back. Diaby, Dawson, little 1-2s. If you're going to knock ball back to your keeper, it's got to be with quality and it's got to be on his good foot. And that's that as much as your technique. You've got to get him where he wants it and where he can deal with it. So there were a few areas in moments there. But Wednesday were playing with an attacking purpose to what they were doing. They were trying to get forward. They were trying to get forward quickly and break through Rotherham. Patterson and Windass were linking well down the right hand side, and at one bit Pato knocked ball out. Windass put a fantastic cross in, and it was what I'd call a Gary Lineker bread and butter, because he made a career out of sliding on end of crosses like that, right across 6-yard box. Smith sliding in, Masaba sliding in, couldn't quite get anything on it, but Wednesday was starting to turn screw a little bit. 24 minutes, should be 2-0. Bannon had ball down left hand side. There was a little spell where we could have got it in a bit earlier, but in this instance he whips one in. Johansson comes for it. I think he's sort of half and half whether to punch it or catch it. Well, in end it doesn't matter, because he ended up getting mainly their centre half and having a bit of a flap of it. Came out to George Byers, and he got time. And he's such a calm player, George. He could have probably took a touch, got his head up and just got round it, or even just a touch and drilled it on half volley, daisy cutter special. But he's been in and out outside, and I think you've got to take that into account. That he'll be desperate to do well. Big hero to Wednesday supporters last season. Really good player for us. Been in and out under Cisco, who hadn't not had much time on pitch, and I think he just snatches an opportunity. I think it all probably flashes, sort of before his eyes, and he just sort of gets it on instep, and he'll be dreaming about that tonight, no danger. The goal had really been a pick-up for Wednesday, and as I said, we're trying to get it forward more. We're not afraid to go a bit longer as well, because they're leaving spaces in wide areas, certainly. Windass down right, combining with Patterson and James, but especially Masaba. I mean, James is hardly having to get forward. Masaba down left-hand side, really getting into Rotherham and forcing them into a change. 25 minutes. I mean, it's a long time since I've seen that, without somebody being injured. But what name that lad who come off? I have it here in my notes somewhere. Happier. Oh, God, he got face like a slapped ass. Maybe you would do, wouldn't you? 25 minutes in big local game. Oh. Windass has been getting a few pelters recently, and he's not at the form that we know he's capable of. Hasn't scored since Wembley. I think he's had a really good game today, and the last 15 minutes of the first half especially, he was popping up all over it. He was popping up just off of Smith. He was stretching into the box. He made some great runs into the box today. When we were getting an early ball up to Smith, and then Windass were getting up there and supporting him. And down right hand side, I mean, I wouldn't consider him a winger. He's put 3 or 4 absolutely quality crosses in that first half. Absolute quality. You know, he has a chance later in half, which I would expect him to bury, and I think he would expect to bury himself. Masaba's broken out left. Does well, cuts it back. He's made a bursting run, Windass, and he just wide at post. I would expect him to hit target. He'd expect to hit target, and I think if he'd had a run of games and confidence has been high, probably does. But you know, overall, I think he's had a really good game today. Really, really lively. And like I said, a lot of crosses, quality crosses as well. The sort of stuff you'd expect from a winger. And Wednesday have put a lot of crosses in today. It really stood out how much time we spent putting balls into the box, especially in that first half. We talked about crosses all the time. We talked about it under Darren Moore, talked about it under Monk, and you know, when we had Kadeem Harris blasting it off at stand roof and whatever. Crosses are only valuable if you've got numbers in there. And a system like this where you're playing one up front, supported from wide, if they don't get in there and make numbers up, it's a waste of time putting crosses in. We saw that in Darren Moore's first season with Shadipo and Corbin, who getting an 18-yard box seemed to be like kryptonite to them. They just wouldn't do it. You know, when ball would out with a flank, are they bursting into Mecca too? We didn't see it. And that's the danger, and that's when miserable old sods like me will be like, bloody hell, one up front. But when you do it right, when you get numbers in there, when Masaba were getting out flank, Windass were getting in there, Byers were getting up there, Bannon were getting up, were trying to support, get numbers in box, then it's worth putting crosses in. And that is clearly something that they'd worked on. Probably 5 minutes, I mean, we could be 3 or 4-0, but 5 minutes before break, Windass, fantastic little through ball for Masaba, and he puts afterburners on. His pace has really given us something different, a different dimension that we probably hadn't had for 2 or 3 seasons. He bursts through, gets in on near post. I think probably veins are throbbing inside of his head thinking about getting a goal, because he goes on near post. It's a very tight angle. It's a shame because Smithy's took a man away in middle towards backstick, and Pato's made a cracking run up middle, so it got to a penalty spot. A little cut back there, and surely it's another goal. 36 minutes, Wednesday 2-0 up. Big Dom again, does really well, knocks up, wins the ball and drives up with it. And that's another thing we've seen today's players coming forward with ball, travelling with ball. Knocks out lovely little ball through from Windass. Masaba's mid run. Turns inside. He actually ends up falling over their lad's leg. But awareness this time. Little square ball for Smith. 2-0. And essentially that's game over. Because Rotherham hadn't really tested us at all. The biggest threat we had in first half were probably when we were dozying about playing it in 18-yard box in front of the Cop. A terrible heartburn. And then, Masaba. He's had a terrific game today, but I'll tell you what, he could have come away with 4 goals. Just before break, ball down right-hand side, and Pato picks out a brilliant little wefter. Head up, looks at it, don't put too much on it, gets weft on. Just enough on it with backspin, beats everybody in box. Masaba's coming in back stick. And I don't know what he's done. He's headed it, he's somehow headed it down, he's done full starfish, you know. And, he's really got to bury that there for me. But I think that's a lot of modern wingers, they're not really good with air, are they, you know. So we're getting at break, 2-0 lead. In fact, to sum it up, there was bite, endeavour, hard work, teamwork, closing down as a team, winning tackles, going in pairs. And actually, to say we haven't won a game, there was a confidence level that you wouldn't expect to see from players who only got 3 points on board. I'm not saying it was fantastic, but for me, it's the best we've played all season. But I said that at Watford, and then we've got better again. Said it, Rotherham got better again. First half, saying it again.
Second half, it's not quite as good going forward. It's not quite. I don't think there's quite that snap. It's still there's that scrappiness. We'd expect with two teams at bottom, but I still think Wednesday at the team in ascendancy, having more at ball, using ball better, and there's an urgency to Wednesday. That's what I've loved seeing since Danny's come in. There's an urgency to it. Now, like I said, albeit we'd not got results until today, you could see that straight away, that urgency. Although the players, Watford, starting to look tired second half, Plymouth starting to look tired second half, and a little bit today, you can see also that them energy levels are building as well as they get used to this style of play. 54 minutes, confidence, this is what I'm talking about. You won't expect this level of confidence. Patterson wins an header, I think it's from a goal kick. Ball drops out. Josh Windass on half volley, 35 yards out, tries to lob keeper. That's a level of confidence you wouldn't expect from a team at bottom, and I think this coaching staff at it and still in that into lads. And the other thing is, when you're trying to attack, it's easier to keep your confidence higher anyway. If you're attacking and losing games, it's nicer. It's still nicer to play in. It's still nicer to be involved in. If you're just sat in your 18-yard box for 90 minutes and you know you're just inviting it and then you're going to lose a game, over a season that can destroy your character, that can destroy your confidence totally. So just a completely different outlook. I mean, they had a chance about 50 odd minutes. They lobbed one into the box, it dropped down. I think the lad's name was Raven. Blazes it 10 yards off at bar. He'll be disappointed with that. That was a good opportunity. There were a lot of people in there, but he'd actually got a clear route to goal with it, and he blashed that. Again, Wednesday, there was a snap and a tenacity to the play. Byers wins a tackle, little ball into Bannon, and he threads Smith away. And he's actually done well to power past man. You know, he's not probably quickest played it well, but he gets a big stride on him, if you know what I mean. Gets into the box, just drags it a little bit far post. I'm not sure Johansson don't get his fingers on it actually, but drags it just wide at far post. Would have been a lovely way for him to get his hat-trick. Like I said, there's a snap and an energy to Wednesday. It's just really pleasing to see. Byers goes off, he gets replaced by Volks. He's got, well, we know George Byers, he don't like Cub enough, does he? Most players don't. But impressive game from George Byers today. I thought he was looking more like his old self. Now, he's not had a lot of football. He'd had that injury back end of last season just before playoffs. So he's been building up. He's not had a lot of time on pitch this season. So, sensible thing to do. He's not hit ground running when he has been in. So it's about them baby steps in it and getting back to the George Byers that we know he can be. And certainly for the first half today, I thought he was looking somewhere like that again, getting forward, getting passes going, getting a foot in. But Danny's brought him off, replacing with Will Volks, and common sense decision as we're building George back up. And Volks has come in then and done a job. One ball, clean passing. He's won a lot of headers actually. And it's that competition. But what I did notice is when they changing of at subs, and it were all subs today, it's all high fives and giving each other advice as they're going up park. That collective that we had last season, I think, is still there. Dawson didn't have too much to do today, but he made a really strong catch about 70 odd minutes. They'd won a corner down right hand side, came in box, he's gone up, and it's a real good catch because Morrison comes in and gives him a clatter, but he gets above him. Strong shout, good hands, takes it down and takes a few seconds out of that game. Wednesday had a short corner routine, they worked it back in box, he got nutted out, I think it was Morrison, and like I said, Volks has come in game, and sometimes it's not easy to get involved when you're a sub. Sometimes it might take you 10 minutes to get one, but Volks was straight in, and then this corner came out to him, and he volleyed one from probably 20 yards at just a couple of foot wide at post. Everybody's getting forward, everybody's trying to get involved in attacking. Honestly, I'm so pleased. They're starting to leave a little bit in. Bit of frustration sneaking in. That Hugel, I mean, he's always been a bit like that anyway, but he's an old trick, shoving, pushing, wrestling,
mithering referee. Clucas leaves it a bit on. But then Bramall does one, and it's a shocker. And he's won ball. But I will not have this argument that you got ball. You can get ball and it can still be a dangerous tackle. You can win ball 100% and still get a yellow card. You can win ball 100% and still get a red card if it's deemed dangerous play by referee. And I think this were one. He goes in, he gets it, but his foot's high. Both at feet to the floor, but it's his left foot. It's the one that gets the ball. He takes Masaba out on ankle. He gets ball, but as his foot clears ball, he then makes sure he lifts it up on upstep by chucking him in. So as his shoulders go down, that weight momentum, shoulders down, foot, and it flicks foot up into him. And it's, for me, he's got to beat, but it's a nasty tackle. That it's a twat's tackle. To be perfectly honest with you, he knows, and anyone who's played a game knows that's a shithouse tackle. Rotherham actually have a couple of chances right at the end. There's about 5 minutes to go. Like Kelly, I think it's Buckley who loses ball in midfield. He'd come on, and he's seen Dawson offline. He's gone for it. You know, Harry Kane scored one over there, didn't he, for Bayern, and he's seen Dawson offline and tried to do him from just inside his own half. You know, that Beckham sort of range, but that's about 6-10 foot wide, that one. And right at end, at death again, that's, was it Raven they called him? It's from a throw-in on their right-hand side. Goes it, two players go up there, lad, and I think it's Bernard. It's back of both heads, comes to edge at D, and he shapes himself really well on left foot, but he just can't quite get a clean connection, gets a bit of swaz on it, goes wide. But really, that's the only time I felt under any pressure today, were set pieces from Rotherham, throws, corners and stuff like that. Open play, I think our back three's played really well, and both the wide players. There's been a few. Smith will win official man at match because he scored 2 goals, and that's, you know, you can touch ball twice in 90 minutes and win man at match, can't you? But he did have a good game. He held ball up really well. He was strong. He was being held a lot, but he persevered with that. He was strong. The 2 wide lads, Windass and Masaba, I thought they were really good because they got in supported him. There's no point playing a long striker if you don't get your wide men or your attacking midfielders, number 10s, whatever you want to call them. If you don't get them in with him, it's a waste of time. But he held it up really well. They got in and got involved. So they've both had a good game. Masaba's pace gives us a completely different dimension. Some of Windass's through balls and crossing today I thought were terrific. But it's been a good performance all round. Byers, Bannon in middle, back to 2-touch. The best stuff they played last season when we got promoted, but when it was them 2 in there, usually with a third, but they've done it in a 2 today. 2-touch. When them 2 are playing 2-touch, they're terrific. And we saw that, especially in first half today, 1-2 touch. And first idea is to get ball forward. It's not this, have a touch, look back, can I get it to a centre half who can get it back to the keeper? It's have a touch, look up, or in Bannon's case a lot today, have a look before you've even got it, touch, bang. Some of his passing today were superb, Bannon. And how much better does he look when he's got the pitch in front of him to look at and he's got all his options ahead of him? Such a different player when he's played in correct position. Back 3 was solid. Diaby worries me at times with his passing. That's just how I am. I'm a bit old-fashioned, and he's a bit old-fashioned. You know, he'll head things and kick things. I'm not so comfortable with him playing them 1-2s with Dawson. But my man of the match today, you know, for all Masaba's pace and Windass looking a bit like his old self and Smithy getting 2, my man at match would be Dharma Alpha. I thought he was fantastic today. Headed everything, tackled, slide tackles, block tackles, getting a foot in, recovery tackles, tracking back, but also bursting forward. And again, that was one of our strengths of last season, was lads at back stepping out. And it don't matter how good the opposition is, if they've got, how well they set up and they've got their formation and this is what we're going to do. If you've got players who will stride out from back with ball, one of them's got to make a decision. One of them midfielders has got, do I stay, do I go? Do I go and close him down? Do I leave my man to go and close him down? It causes havoc, and he's done that time and again today. Oh, he nearly scored at end, bless him. Volks put a brilliant free kick in, and I think he was that excited about prospect. He got up too early, and by the time the ball come in, he went on way down. I was gutted for him. But yeah, man at match, Dominic Ioff. I thought it absolutely brilliant centre-half performance today. As for the team, it's almost unrecognisable, the energy levels that we're playing with at the minute. The way we're closing down, the way we've closed down at Watford and Plymouth was superb. As I said, we couldn't close down so much today because they weren't fanning about with ball, Rotherham, it were going. It's hard to close that down. But when it were in our half, when these loopers were coming down, and we were in snapping. Midfield, the back three, the two wing backs, James and Patterson, been really busy today, tracking back, marking runners, getting our foot in. The energy levels look completely different. The confidence looks so much higher. And bearing in mind, we've only won one game, but we were doing this in the games we've lost. And if you can show that sort of attitude when you're losing games, then when you're winning and when you're picking points up, that confidence is just going to get higher and higher. I'm delighted for the new manager, but most of all, I'm delighted for players, because a lot of them I don't think had been treated particularly well at the beginning of this season, and now they're back in and they're showing us that they can make a fist of it. Now I know there's some miserable bleeders out there. Well, it's only Rotherham, but only Rotherham who are above us in table. We're going to have to beat teams above us in table, whether it's QPR one place above us or teams that's 10 places above us. That's what we've got to do. We've got to get behind lads. And I'm really confident with the way we're doing things. I think we're going to make a fist of it. And if nothing else, if we do go down, if we can't overhaul this lead that the teams have got on us, at least I know we're going to go down fighting. And that's all you really want to see. Anyway, I'm off to bed because I've got work in the morning. Do me sending up water battle because she'll have bedroom window open. But makes you badly if you don't get fresh air. So does hypothermia. Anyway. See you later. Danny Rohl. Danny Rohl. Oh, I've got no fucking tea bags. She's crazy like a fool.